I'm starting to see a few differences in the arrangement of the exercises on this particular session here. And while I wasn't yet moving away from separating the upper body into pushing and pulling, I was adding something else. And this was some isolation for the lower body. And I kind of remember what was going through my head at the time. So before moving away from the dark side and going back to training upper body as one entity, I thought that I might be going somewhat full body again, so training both upper and lower. But as I was understanding more about what the rehab for my glute was entailing, I thought that it would be wiser to actually separate the upper and the lower. And because I'm cycling to work, commuting with my bicycle both ways, I thought that that was going to be a good chunk of volume, even if more cardio oriented, and that my lower body was going to be working on those days. So I thought that if I was doing something extra on top of the glute rehab, it was probably going to put a bit too much intensity or volume or strain, and it would take a bit longer to fix this. It's taken long enough. So this was a bit of an experiment, and in the coming weeks, I did move away from that. And I was basically trying to go back to the old way of training, mostly full body. It's just that I didn't think, and I still don't, that I am ready to do that yet. I want to get rid of this annoyance in my left glute before I go back to a training style that fits my chords a bit better. So finally, with regards to the current session at hand, I was doing some leg extensions, and everybody who does those could tell immediately that I had not done these in a very long time, because I wasn't even aware that I could push the my backrest, actually pull it back so that it would fit the length of my thighs. I was noticing a bit of difficulty getting a bit too much tension in the knee area as I was doing that, and then I noticed that it was because my the crease of my knee wasn't really resting against the edge of the seat. It was actually pushed a bit farther out, and that was probably putting a bit much tension in there. But because I was just starting with those leg extensions, it wasn't really that big of a deal. I wasn't pushing that big of a weight anyways, and I was even trying to get those in a bit more of an explosive way, simply because that's what I feel is what's needed for my lower body. I don't really feel like my thighs need to get any larger than they are right now, but I do still feel like I need to get some work in there, and not losing too much, maybe keeping some explosivity of some kind. Not that any work ever resembles in sports resembles what I would do on an isolation movement, albeit done in a more explosive way. But anyways, that was basically what I've done for the lower body on this day here, apart from the glute exercises rehab. And then I was doing a couple of exercises for the upper body. So that was the dips, weighted dips, and shoulder presses. So overhead presses, 16 kilos on the overhead presses. It's taken me a very long time to build up the rep count so that I can finally move up to a higher weight. And I mean, not that the weight choice in this gym is very large. It goes up to 30 kilos, I think. But since I'm quite away from that, I will be keeping the 16 kilos up until I can do maybe 15 reps, so that allows me to stretch the progression for as long as I can. I'm not really planning on joining another gym at this moment, so I kind of stopped going to the other gym because I moved away from doing squats for a while, and also hip hinges. So I will keep this here so I can get the basics in, and hopefully I get to fix this soon, and then I will think about joining a proper gym, and then keeping on doing some more athletic stuff. But that was the end of the session. Some glute raises to wrap it up, and it was a good one. Ciao.